Welcome back to the Marching Arts Network. I'm the Stress Master. Thank you all for joining me. This is going to be our first in a series of weekly videos going over scores and recaps. So on the podcast, we really don't go deep diving into the scores too much. We do talk about them. Sometimes occasionally we go through some recaps, but mainly like regionals and stuff like that. But I wanted to do a weekly video, and this one's a little bit later than the rest of them are going to be. I'm going to try to do them on Wednesdays, like the middle of the week, like a midweek recap. But since this week was the very first week of really judge shows and stuff like that, there was a lot of shows right after Wednesday, right before the July 4th holiday, which is when I'm recording this. So I really wanted to just let the shows go and then see who we could get in terms of scoring. Now, this is not everybody, because not everybody was in the scored competition. Blue Devils and a couple others did not actually compete, except for one show. So a little bit different, but we're going to take a look at the scores and recaps anyway. I got to watch the show last night from Portland, Oregon, I believe, and that had the Seattle Cascades, Boise Gems, Impulse, Santa Clara Vanguard, Mandarins, missing somebody. I can't remember who it is, but we're going to look when we look at the scores. But let's go ahead and jump into something real quick here. So this is called the Core Clash app. You can get this on Google or Apple Play Store. Highly recommend getting it. It is free. There are some paid features that you can get, but right now everybody's intermixed. They eventually move the world away from the open class and all age class. I think they actually divide them up, but I can't remember from last year. But right now, Reading Buccaneers are in first, as you can see here. But last night, the Santa Clara Vanguard did win that show with the 77.950. We're going to look at the recaps of that. But this is a kind of cool app. So, and this is my phone, but you can kind of see where everybody's ranking currently. You can also sort by like GE. I want to see who won GE or who's winning GE so far. Music, and you can sort by different categories. So kind of a cool app. I think it's kind of unique. So I'm going to actually jump to the recap. So just give me a second here while I move that over. All right, we have the scores pulled up here for the Portland, Oregon show, which happened last night. I got to watch it with my wife on Flow Marching. Really great show. I was really impressed by all the cores there, to be quite honest. And it kind of brought up a thought. We were talking about the shorter season, how a lot of cores are now competing in at least 20, some less than 20 shows. I don't know if that's a bad thing. I think that overall, it gives them more time to prepare and work through the show, get it more presentable in terms of like where their vision is. Because what I remember in the past when we marched, we did about sometimes 30 to 40 shows. That's a lot of shows to do. And we started in early June, like about the first or second week of June-ish. Not too different than what this is. But what had happened though is we moved in a lot later too. So we didn't move in until, the end of May after Memorial Day. And some people couldn't move in until after they graduated or until after high school or whatever. So we actually really didn't have a lot of time to prepare. We had maybe a week, and that was it with the whole core together. So my comment is that I don't think this is a bad thing because it gives them so much more time. And I know they're doing move-ins a little bit earlier, but it gives them like 3-4 weeks now to really prepare, and they have time to do like preview shows and family days and stuff like that, where they can actually do more community focused events. So I don't think this is a bad thing. Tell me your guys' thoughts in the comments below, but man, I think it's pretty darn good. So in the quality shows. So let's look at the scores and then we'll kind of talk about the show. So Santa Clara Vanguard, 77.950, Mandarins with a 74.8. I don't agree with this score gap here of 3 points. I really don't. I know people are saying Santa Clara Vanguard is like 93 star of Indiana. They're not 93 star. 93 star is 93 star. 2025 Santa Clara is 2025 Santa Clara. There is no comparison in my opinion. There is no way that it's even close in terms of the significance, but we don't know. We haven't seen this show at its final peak yet. But 93 star, I was there live. I got to see it early season or mid-season and then finals. And 93 star was like a force of nature. It was just this crazy thing that it took people over a decade to really appreciate. So calling this 93 star, I don't agree with that. I don't think it's a bad show at all. I think Santa Clara's show is pretty cool and innovative, but I do not think it's 93 star level. So, but 93 star at the time was so groundbreaking and innovative. People weren't even ready for it. The judges weren't ready for it. They didn't understand it. But anyway, that's my commentary on that. If you guys have commentaries, please make sure you put that down there. But I really enjoyed these shows. So Santa Clara was a great show. Mandarins was a great show. Blue Knights scored a 69.250. Really strong performance from the Blue Knights. We talked about their color of the uniform, really complimenting the guard and then popping off the field. It does a great job of that. We still have a lot more to go for this show to develop. So I'm really excited to see what they're going to do. Seattle Cascades, when I saw their show, they are really strong and big. They do need to work on a couple elements, but that's everybody. Their soloists weren't as strong as I think the ensemble sound was. The ensemble sound was really good, but when the soloists came on, they were a little shaky, so it may be because of their first performance, in that venue. So I'm looking forward to see what the Seattle Cascades do, but really strong performance, really, really good. I was very impressed with everybody. Everybody had great shows. They sounded good. Let's look at the open class. So Columbians, 57.0 to Impulses, 56.750. So both of these scores really, really good. I was very surprised with Impulse. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I meant because they're big. They're really big this year. Big drum lines. Colombian, same thing. Big drum lines. Horn lines, really good size, good sound coming out of them. So I'm really excited to see what they're going to do as the season progresses. Now that we're on to season mode. So really, really cool. I mean, I was really, really shocked at the quality. Like I said, and we had seen some of the previews for like Blue Coats and some other shows and stuff like that, but the quality so far is really, really, really good. I'm very, very impressed. And it's really too early in the season to call anything yet because shows are still developing, but I think it's a really good start. So let's go ahead and look at the recaps. So we're going to pull up the recaps for World, which is going to be Santa Clara Mandarins, Blue Knights, and Seattle Cascades. Then we'll look at Open Class. Okay, this is where some of these scores were a little bit interesting. So let's start with GE here. 7.9 to a 7.7 for Santa Clara. So only 0.2 here, but 7.8, 7.3 in performance. So 0.5. So once again, I don't really see the gigantic gap. I don't see the gigantic gap that's being represented by these scores when I watch the show. But you guys make your own determination. But I think between Santa Clara and Mandarins, I think it's a lot closer than these scores. It's like closer than they appear. But these tenths here are what's really doing it. So 8 in repertoire, 7.6 from this judge, 7.7 to 7.4. So 15.7 overall to 15.0 for this GE judge, and then 15.7. So basically the same exact score from each GE judge. So 31.4 to 30.0. I don't agree with that at all. And I'll tell you why. Not that Santa Clara's not good. They're really good. But I think GE-wise, I think Mandarins has more GE. I think they have more GE. I really do. I think they have more general effect. They're more colorful. They have more variety of things occurring on the field currently. And that can change. And it's not that Santa Clara, they're doing some cool, wacky stuff. And they have those like little... everything turns like pink later on. They have the pink sleeves. They have those like portal kind of things that they're holding up that are pink. They stand on them and do some kind of stuff. But Mandarins from the beginning, I think is a little bit, the show's way different. But anyway, that's my opinion. It is what it is. But I mean, I think they're both really good, but I just don't see the point gap. Once again, I wasn't there live. I was watching it on Flow. So let's look at the Blue Knights in Seattle Cascades. So in terms of scoring, the Blue Knights were about 0.7 below, 1.5 from this judge, but 0.7 from this judge. So quite a difference in score there. All right, visual proficiency. So 8, 8 for content, 8.0 to 7.7 to 7.1. So kind of in line there, 7.7 to 7.5. So a little bit closer in achievement. I do agree with that. Mandarins were really, really good last night. They performed really well. 15.7 to a 15.2 overall in visual proficiency here to a 13.7. So quite a bit of difference. 1.5 again. 8.1 to 7.7, 7.7 to 7.5 in achievement. So 15.8 to 15.2. So a little bit bigger gap here, 0.6. Color guard, 7.9 to a 7.7, and then 7.5 to 7.3. So 15.4 to 15.0. I mean, I'm not a judge for color guard. I don't know. Like I said, I don't agree with these point gaps. I don't agree with them. I watched the show, but once again, I'm not there. I'm not in the stadium. I'm watching from high cam. So, but I thought Mandarin's overall was either really, really close or equal to in some areas to Santa Clara Vanguard in terms of performance and stuff like that. Maybe construction, maybe show design, but anyway, that's just my opinion. All right. I think they were both great. I really enjoyed them both. So music brass, let's just do the total. So 15.5 to a 15.1. So the really difference was just a couple tenths here and there to Blue Knights 14.2 and Seattle Cascades at 13.2. So music 7.9, 7.5. So 15.4 to 14.5. I don't know. Maybe. Honestly, the second half of Mandarin's show for me, the first half was really, really good. And then the second half kind of dipped a little bit in terms of just the energy. So I don't know. I don't know if they're going to make a change there or what they're going to do. But I did feel it kind of drop a little bit in the second half in terms of energy. So I really felt the energy of Mandarin's show at the very, very beginning of the first half. As soon as they go into the ballad, the Billie Eilish song, then it kind of dips down a little bit for me energy-wise. So I don't know. Maybe that's accurate. And percussion 15.3 to 14.6. Santa Clara's percussion is always on point. So, okay. So overall 77.950, 74.8 to 69.250. All right. So for the open class, sorry. So Colombians in Impulse really, really close in score, like we saw. So GE Impulse actually won GE here and then lost GE here. So they tied. They ended up tying for GE. So 23.4 to 23.4. For visual performance, 11.4 for Impulse to 11.0 in Colombians. And then it flip-flopped again with this visual analysis score 11.6 to 11.1. And then color guard 10.9. And then barely eking out 11 to a 10.9. So really good job for both of those scores. It's fantastic. Music brass 11.6 to 11.0. I can get on board with that, except no, I can get on board with that. That's. I mean, they were both really, really good. Don't get me wrong, but I can see where that score was derived from. So, music analysis, same thing, 11.3 to a 10.7, and then percussion though 11.5 to 10.8. So they had a really strong percussion section, Impulse. So, good job to them. Like I said, they came out much bigger than I was expecting them to be. But the proficiency was, like I said, is much better for everybody now because they have much longer to prepare for the first show. So really good job. So overall score was a 57.0 to a 56.75. All right. So we're going to switch to the other show, which is in Rockford, Illinois, which Jen actually got to go see live. So I'm really excited to see the scores because I haven't really looked at them too much. Okay, so these scores, I have not seen a couple of these cores, so I'm really excited to see what their shows are. Okay, so Phantom Regiment 76.150, very strong performance. 73.0 from Blue Stars. So that's, a lot of people are saying this is a really fun show, really great show. I'm going to have to find a video and have to react to it because I haven't seen their show yet. I saw the concept and I was kind of like, I don't know. But you never know until you see the show. So Cavaliers with 71.6, and then Troopers with 71.0, Madison Scouts with a 68.750. Madison, okay. I actually did see part of their show. but it was like far away. It wasn't like really good quality. I wish they would have put the show on Flow. I don't know why they didn't. This is a pretty prominent show, but we're going to have to wait to Whitewater, which is on the 5th, which is tomorrow, before we can even see it. And I don't even know if I'm going to be able to watch it. We're going to have to see if I'm even going to be able to watch it. I might be at a show tomorrow. On the 5th. So we'll see. Crossman with the 66.250, and then the Columbus Saints with the 55.350. So that's the all age class. Let's take a look at recaps. Okay, so recaps. We have Phantom Regiment, 7.8 to a 7.5 in GE. So really close in GE here for the Blue Stars. 7.5 to 7.3, to a total of 15.3 to 14.8. And then Cavaliers in the mix with the 14.4. And Troopers also in the mix with the 14.2. So all kind of within that realm. And then we have Madison Scouts with 13.7 and 13.9 for the Crossmen, actually beating the Madison Scouts in GE. Interesting. Okay. In General Effect 2, though, it's pretty straight down the line here. 15.2 to 14.5, 14.3. So all pretty close. 14.0, 13.6 to 12.8. So, and then the totals right down the line. 30.5, 29.3, 28.7. You guys can read. I'm not going to through them all, but visual proficiency is once again kind of straight down the line here. Not a lot of variance. So I'm trying to scroll so I don't make you guys sick. As you can see, the gap is pretty close. 0.2 here, 0.3 here. The gap opens up a little bit in here with 0.7. So, and then Troopers actually taking visual proficiency over the Cavaliers. And then Cavies here taking visual analysis 7.2 above the Blue Stars, and then switching it here for achievement. So 15.0, 14.2, 14.1, 13.8, 12.8, and 12.5. So really, really close in those areas there. And then Color Guard, first place with the 15.3. Cavaliers, second place with a 15.1. And then Blue Stars in third with a 14.5. And then 13.8 for Troopers, 13.5 for Madison, and then 12.6 for the Crossmen. So overall, 22.8, 21.8, 21.5, and you guys can see all the scores down here. So actually, everybody's scoring in the pretty dang high. So really good. For music, brass. Okay, this is where things flip quite a bit. We have a. I'm just going to do the totals here. 15.7 to a 15.2, but Madison Scouts 15.0, so third place for the Madison Scouts. Really strong. For music analysis, though, 14.9 to a 14.6, 14.0 right down the road here, kind of, and then 14.3, so third place. Fifth place with the 13.8 and a 13.3. And then music percussion, 15.0 to, let's see here, 14.6 for the Troopers. Wow, really good job, Troopers. 14.3, and then it goes 14.1 for Madison, 14.0 for the Blue Stars. So that's kind of going to be their improvement area to really get those scores up. But I mean, they're scoring pretty high. And then 13.4 for the Crossmen. So overall, a 76.1, 73, 71.6, 71.0, 68.75, and a 66.25. So crazy scores. And we're just going to look at the kind of and they weren't competing against anybody else, but you know, they're scoring pretty well here. 18.7, yeah, 17.0. So these are really good scores with the final score of a 55.350. So crazy shows. Okay, so we're going to come back to the app here. I really wanted to kind of just go through. Now, this isn't. Once everybody competes together, then you'll have a better understanding of scoring and stuff like that, because everybody's at different shows. So, of course, your scoring is going to be different based on who you're competing against, all this stuff. But it's just kind of fun to see where everybody's at. One thing I do like about this app is you can go to the individual cores, and it will tell you where all of their shows are. So you can actually follow them there. So that's kind of a cool thing. And like I said, there's some paywall stuff, but it's not too bad. Let's go back to rankings. So right now, Santa Clara has the highest score with a 77.950. Blue Devils have not performed. They performed last night, but it wasn't a judged show. So We're really going to see them on the 6th, I think, in Stanford. Santa Clara will be performing again on the 5th in Sacramento, as well as the Mandarins and some other Boston Crusaders, actually. Because right now they have a 77.850, and I guarantee that score is going to be in the 80s before they leave California. But right now, their last performance was, and it does tell you when their last performance was right here, was June 30th. So they haven't performed in a show in about 5 days. But this is kind of cool. I kind of like this. And then eventually they will filter out like all age and different categories, hopefully. Let me see if we can do divisions here. Oh yeah, we can do it. Never mind. I forgot. There we go. Okay, so now we can really see it more accurate. So according to this, and that's Blue Devils once again haven't competed for quite a while. Either has Boston Crusaders. So these places are going to switch. But really strong. You can see like the top 5. Blue Stars are doing really, really well. I don't know how far. Like I said, I need to see their show, but I'm really excited to see what they're doing. But right now it's Vanguard, Boston, Phantom, Blue Devils, Mandarins, Blue Stars, Cavaliers in 7th. Troopers, Colts, Blue Knights, and Madison Scouts, and then the Crossmen actually rounding out. But we haven't seen a lot of people. We haven't seen a lot of cores yet, so we've got quite a bit more to go. So there's only 13. There's like 20 something cores. So I know some of them are open, but there's a lot more we haven't seen. I can't really put my finger on who we haven't seen yet. You guys can tell me in the comments below. Would really appreciate that. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for joining me on this quick little video of scores and kind of my favorite things. And sorry I don't have a lot of light in here. I guess I could turn on my light, but I just decided to just let natural light do its course here, and I'll adjust it in the app when I finish up. But I really do appreciate it, and I really do appreciate all your support. And thank you guys so much for all that you do for us, helping us grow this channel, and also helping us just enjoy this activity. So we really do appreciate it. Make sure that you subscribe. Make sure you visit our YouTube page. I know you guys are tired of that spiel, but it really does help us out. It really does help us build this community. And I know there's a lot of other channels you can watch, so we do appreciate you watching ours. So thank you guys so much. We'll see you on the next video, which is going to be coming in a few days when we do our podcast again. And we're going to be talking about a lot more stuff, more shenanigans, as we always do. So thank you guys so much. We'll see you on the next video. Until then, march on.